And we are going. What is going on with everybody, man? It's your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real rugged. And the person that I'm on the other line with has way more drip than me right now. They got a North Face hoodie on. I got like a 10-year-old Nike shirt on right now that I probably should take off. But I'm gonna let the brother introduce himself, man. Who we got here today?
Yo, my name is Redveil. I'm an artist. I'm 16. I'm an artist. I'm a producer. And I'm 16. And shit, man. I really, I've been making music for like 5 years now. In December, it's about to be 5 years. And like I've been lucky enough to see some growth like this year. So it's just fine.
It's crazy, man. 5 years. So you're like 11.
Yeah.
Nigga was in fifth grade going crazy. That's crazy to think about, man. That niggas in like elementary school now are like
I
becoming
was
artists. Sixth
I
grade?
was seventh actually
Seventh.
because I skipped a grade. So
Got a genius on our hands right here. You skipped a grade. So that means what? You're in 12th grade right now?
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We'll get to that. We'll get to school later because I actually want to talk about that. But before we get into this, I kind of want to discuss how I like even found your music. So usually I think I'm pretty early on people. This time, pretty late on you. Not gonna lie. So I'm like, okay. So it's funny. So quick story. There's this rapper named Babyface Ray from Detroit that I really like. So I interviewed him, and I said in the interview that I got put onto him, not put onto him, but I really started liking him during this one song that came out this year. Oh my gosh, I should have never said that. The comments on my head, boy. Man, you just on Ray off it. Boy, this nigga late, man. I've been listening to Babyface Ray since I was 2 years. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not from Detroit. So I don't know if this is finna be a repeat of this, but I was super duper late onto you, and I was like, dang, how did I not hear about this? So I got put onto you. I'll show you how late this was when Tyler posted you on his page, and I didn't even directly super late, right? I didn't even see that post. I be on this website called KTT, and somebody made a thread on KTT and said, "Oh, Tyler just posted this. Y'all should check it out." So I was, huh? Yeah, Kanye Tither. So so I was like, okay, I have no idea who this is, but I'll listen to him. And then I listened to it. I think I listened to a song maybe, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to it. Then I listened to the last album. I was like, it was pretty good, but I never went back to it. Then recently I went back to it. And I was like, yo, this is like really good. And then I seen an interview where you said you were 16. And I was like, yo, this nigga's like a minor still making music like this. So I imagine 5 years from now where this nigga's gonna be at. So I'm like, yo, this nigga's like a star. Or he's going to be a star. And then I go on my Instagram to follow you. I was like, oh, this nigga follow me? I was like, who is this nigga? I was like, this nigga know about me before I knew about him. So it was just a lot of stuff going on. So first of all, I just want to say shout out to you for even knowing who I was. That's pretty cool. And now I know who you are. And now we're here, man. So shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, bro, this shit is fire. Cause I've been like watching you for like some years now.
How did you find out about me?
Uh, bro, ironically enough, I don't know if you know because you figured out about me from the Tyler stuff. Ironically enough, it was probably the Fantana collab.
Mm,
Yeah, so
that's cool. That's cool. I've clapped that nigga a couple times. You know, remember which one it was?
uh, I'm not sure.
But it's probably something with Fantana though.
Yeah, probably or Sean C. Maybe.
I did interview. I did some shit with that nigga too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. So when I seen that, I was like, damn, this nigga know who I am. So let me tap in with this nigga. And ever since then, I've been listening to your music, bro. And you got something, man. You got something, bro. And I think you have something because, like I said, you're young. So the fact you're already making music like this at this age, I can only imagine when you hit like 21 where you're going to be like as a person because you're going to like have more life experiences and just go through more because I feel like once you get older like your pen gets wiser and you start rapping about more stuff and yeah, man, I'm very interested to see where you go. So I mean this is kind of a weird introduction, but I just want to let you know I'm a big fan, man. Big fan of what you got going on, bro. Big fan of what you got going on. And then I feel like what made me even more of a fan is I watched your interview with Beans and Beats, I think his name was.
Beans and bars, yeah.
Beans and Bars. I'm so sorry. I'm so every time I watch interviews, I'm like, yo, like of like people, that are doing the interviews very critical. Like, yo, this nigga's trash. He was a really good interviewer. He was really, really
Yeah.
good interviewer.
Right.
So I want to talk about that first before we get into anything because that was like really my introduction of who you are as a person. Besides the music, so like, how did he find you? Did you find him? Like, how did that happen?
He found me, and he hit me up probably like a month before that interview. Just on some like, yo, I'm in the area. Trying to interview, get you down to the show that like they had paused for a while because of Corona.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna be the first one like of like the comeback of like the series or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? I did all these like blog interviews with kind of underground blogs and stuff, but I was like, okay, this will be the first like in real life like interview. I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm super down to actually get in depth and like talk about stuff. It's not just like, yo, you listen to it right now. So it was really weird.
So did you expect that interview to be that good? Because like it's usually when I see
Nah,
niggas, I didn't expect that either. I was like, yo, this nigga's really good at doing interviews, and you were really good, like receptive to him.
yeah, it was like at the very beginning when he was like he put on Palace Curse and was like, so tell me about that song, and I was like, well, I was like, all of this stuff came to my head because that song specifically has so much like importance to me, and I knew he had to have done that his research to like know that. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, it's about to be fine.
Nah, yeah, he was in his bag. Where were you when you did? Like, was that? Were you in PG County or you were somewhere else?
I was in Virginia.
Oh, he was in Virginia when you did that.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good interview, and I feel like he definitely helped me understand you as an artist and as a person better. So like when kind of you were talking about having a debate background and you're doing debates and things like that, I thought it was pretty interesting because I've never did a debate team. I've never been on a debate team. I've always wanted to. I just never did it. But I feel like that would help you structure bars better than if you wasn't in that. So like being in a debate team, has that helped you like structure your bars a little bit better?
I don't even know if it's like the bars necessarily as much as like just the way like in the way I analyze like the world. I guess that has had more of an impact on that than like the actual like rap like rhyme scheme part, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really realize how much it like enhanced my like ability to rap because my stuff definitely got like more analytical of the world and just deeper and shit after I did more debate. So
No, I think it definitely helps your analysis because I mean I'm pretty sure you've been arguing with somebody and you were like killing them in the argument and then they just like be like, man, shut up, nigga. And be like, so I guess I won here at this point.
yeah,
So on the debate team you can't just do that. You actually have to have
exactly.
a coherent response and things like that. So like just looking at the world, so outside of music, like how do you think that's like helped you like perceive the world in a different perspective?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, like you know what I'm saying. When somebody says something that's like you don't agree with or you think it's wrong, you can't just be like, "Oh, shut up." Like you actually really have to think about like why it's wrong and like the impacts of every little thing and stuff. And it just it kind of rewires like just how you see things. You know what I mean? Like just being more receptive to actually debating with people on things like this because you understand like how they can think that because also in debate, you don't really like in the actual season, in the actual competitive season, you don't choose what side you're on. So you have to debate both sides, even the side you don't agree with sometimes.
Yeah.
So when you do that, it's like you really have to see where they're coming from and justify it, and that changes like everything.
Now, I have a couple topics in my mind, but I'm pretty sure you have some since you're definitely a debate team. Is there a topic that in your personal life, when somebody tries to argue the other side that you disagree with, is there a topic that you like, you don't want to do this? Like, I'm finna like kill you because I know way too much about this that you probably don't.
Like the cool thing about the season. So I didn't get to do a lot of like actual like competition just because of Corona.
Yeah.
Like I got into it in 10th grade, and then halfway through 11th grade, you know what I'm saying, Corona happened. So it was a little, but what I did, debate, it was actually pretty like informative.
Mm.
It actually taught me it was about stuff that I didn't know about. So that was really cool. Like 11th grade, it was about we were talking about arms control like around the world and stuff. You know what I mean? Which is like a very complex topic. Talking about like all that world politics and shit. And then 10th grade, it was about immigration, like visas and shit like that. And that's something that I never really had to think about because like my parents are immigrants, but they never really talked about like the story
Yeah.
of it. You know what I mean? So it was actually cool because it taught me stuff that I didn't know a lot about.
So immigration to come into America, I feel like a lot of people. I feel like you said something interesting because I feel like a lot of people, um, as take like the Black Lives Matter thing in perspective. I feel like a lot of people that are not black are just people that just don't have to think about this type of stuff. You could be black and still don't like think about that every day. I feel like when the George Floyd thing happened, it like made people think about it because like you talking about with the
Yeah,
immigration that had nothing to do with you. Like you born in America, you like why would I even think about that? So I feel like
yeah,
when a lot of people see the George Floyd thing, it's like yo. I can't escape this on social media because when I go on social media, that's all I see. Can't look at TV because that's all I see. I can't
yeah.
call somebody because that's all they're gonna talk about. So they were forced to talk about that. So I think it's really interesting making topics at the forefront that are gonna make people uncomfortable. And I feel like you even kind of talk about stuff in your music sometimes, like a hint of not like you make a whole album about it, but I've heard you talk about stuff that are like kind of uncomfortable topics, but you make it to the point where um, it's accessible for the listener. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you do a pretty good job at that. Is that something you consciously do, or you probably never thought about that?
Somewhat consciously, like I used to go. I feel like I kind of accepted my age and the fact that I don't know everything about the world, and so it's not in my best interest to like try to make like a to butterfly and go extremely deep about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like before, I definitely tried to. And I wouldn't say it was like fake deep or anything, but it would just it. I don't think it had the impact that I wanted it to have. So now I'm kind of just trying to talk about what I'm saying, what I know best. You know what I mean, and what me as a young kid hope for the future. I mean, that's all I can do until I know more. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of people definitely hit you with the what this young nigga know, man. This nigga 12 years old. This nigga don't know nothing about the world, you know. So I feel like that is like a smart decision because people are definitely use like your age against you or your experience against you.
Yeah.
That's just like hip hop in general. Like if you have an interview with somebody like, hey, have you heard this '90s, '80s album or whatever? You're like, nah, I'm young. I've never heard of that. And they're like, oh, you a young nigga? How you know what I'm saying? People use your age against you.
Right.
So I feel
Exactly.
like that's definitely a smart route to probably, like I said, wait that 5 years when you're 23, 20. You know what I'm saying? That 7, 8 year span where you have a little bit more life experience. Do you feel like you can use your like lack of age or lack of life experience to your advantage? Because that's a disadvantage, I guess, to not be able to talk about certain topics. But like, what are the advantages you think you have by being 16?
That's a really good question, man. I don't even know about like advantage per se when it comes to writing. I guess you know I've been crushed less by life to the point where I have some level of optimism. You know what I mean? Like I guess I would say that would probably be the biggest advantage.
Optimism.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that, man. I was the most optimistic person until like recently, bro. I've lost all optimism, bro.
but at the same time, it's like it's dwindling really fast. You know what I mean? So it's like what little amount there is left.
Bro, I was like specifically like when it comes to like black people in America, super optimistic, man. I was like, man, it's gonna be better, it's gonna be this and that. But then like as of late, I feel like you would think like all the whole Black Lives Matter protests and everything happening would probably raise my level of optimism, but mine have went down. Like since the protests and things like that, would you say like your level of optimism about the state of black people in America has risen, or is it still steadily going down?
Yeah, it's definitely still sadly going down. But I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it's cool to be able to go to DC and see Black Lives Matter stuff everywhere because like even I remember because like when the Black Lives Matter phrase first came into like the mainstream
Yeah.
sphere whatever, after Trayvon Martin, and it was like a taboo thing to say Black Lives Matter. It's like, well, you radical like lefty, like why are you saying that? And then now it's like all these corporations are coming out with statements saying it, and it's probably not genuine, but at least it's not like a stigma anymore to align with Black lives and with Black voices. So that's a start. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I've always
a lot
thought
of them it's still going down a little bit.
I've always thought that was weird that that was such like a problematic or like a controversial thing to say. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
black people lives matter, and it's like, well, what about us? And
yeah,
it's a
facts.
pretty crazy thing. Like, have you had those experiences in high school? Like, have you dealt with any like not even like just straight racism, but just like all lives matter type of people, or people like in that type of because you're from, I don't know, is it Confederate flags around there? Where you at?
Nah,
No
that's
Confederate
the
flags.
cool. That's the cool thing is that PG is like basically all black. So like like if you're white, you're a minority at my high school. It's
Mm.
like probably 3 or 4 white kids at my high school, like 2,000 kids. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't have to really deal with that. Like the main place that I really kind of was exposed to racism was the internet, and I feel like it's like that for a lot of kids in our generation because it's like it's not really socially acceptable anymore to call somebody a nigger, you know, in a classroom, but on Xbox Live Party going crazy. That's why you hear people being like, "Oh, you went to survive a car lobby." It's like, why are you used to being called a nigger? Like that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like so it's weird. I feel like for most people in my generation, it's like we experience way more racism on the internet than in person. But
Man, my high school was, that's so cool to hear like your school is like because I heard you talk about that in an interview. Like usually when you think of something all black, it's like, oh, it's poverty or it's poor or some hood shit. But you were saying like you get a little bit of everything in. Like you might see some hood stuff, but you might see wealthy black people. You might see middle
exactly.
class black people. So I think that's good to see. And I kind of want to touch on that a little bit later because I know you were talking about wanting to raise your kids in that type of environment. But I do think it's cool that your high school was like that because like my high school is known for like race riots, which I think it's a crazy thing.
That's
Like they was like hanging effigies of black people and shit like in the clock tower area. It was some crazy shit, man. So
that's pretty wild. Yeah.
some pretty wild shit, man. Because I definitely went to school in like a redneck area. There was a lot of hood people there, and there was a lot of white people there. So, man, I think I told this story in the interview before, or maybe I haven't. But I think one of the craziest things was in class. I wasn't in this class, but somebody told me this. There was a class, and this white boy was just, bro, I'm talking about this nigga going in on the computer. He just like, he getting it in. So they like, what he listening to? So they go over there, and he would listen to this song called "They Ought to Send Them All Back to Africa." And then
Yeah.
and then they say, bro, why you listen to that? He say,
Yeah.
you don't hear me to tell. He said, what he say? You don't hear me telling you stop listening to your rap music. I listen to my music. And then it was like,
Yeah, that's wild. See, that would be like nigga get jumped at my school for something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I'm talking about this nigga was Kodak bopping listening to this song, bro. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I think it's interesting. Like the high school experience I got was probably a little bit different from the high school experiences that you're getting right now. So like before Corona, would you say like your school is it like a hood school or is it just like a lot of black people and it's like just diverse in general within that black area?
I mean, like, it was getting a little bit. It's been getting a little bit more diverse, like the past few years. But it's mainly just a black school. It's not really a hood school. Like, there's hood people there. There's a lot of people that want to be hood
Yeah.
that are there. Um, but it's cool because it's a school where you can kind of really choose like where you want to go. You don't really have to be influenced by one thing because there's like literally every type of person. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool.
No, I think that's pretty cool, and I feel like I said, just listen to your music. I can hear um, I feel like it's interesting because it's like a Kendrick. Like when you listen to Kendrick album, no Kendrick album is the same, you know. And
Mm.
I feel like I don't know if this has anything to do with like you going to school in that environment or like you just growing up as a person. But so far, like the projects that I've heard by you have not been the same. They've all been different from the first one to the second one, you know. And I feel like you're evolving and changing. Is that conscious or is that just you just growing up?
Um, it's kind of both. Like, just the way that I've been making music for the past, like, I guess ever since I've started making music, it's changed really fast. And I go through periods where I'm like, I really enjoy a specific sound, and so it'll reflect in the music that I'm making. So like this period now of like these old like soulful samples, um, in these like slow raps and stuff like that. That was probably what like 2019 at the earliest.
Yeah.
I was messing around with that stuff, and it's probably gonna last maybe another year or so, a year or two. But like yeah, I don't know. I just always changed a lot, just because in terms of like rap specifically, um, like I listen to stuff from a lot of different scenes. So it all just kind of comes out at different times, I guess. But yeah, like right now, and for the past year or two, I've really been fucking with the Earl like scene, and I don't know, like a little bit of slums, like um, Navy Blue and Mike were definitely my favorite from that scene. It's funny because I feel like people listen to my music and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely like all this kid listens to. You know what I mean? Like, I should get more into this stuff because I'm not super into it. From what I've heard, and I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So it's cool, but yeah.
I feel like I do this all the time. Somebody bring this up, or if I bring him up. I don't know how far. I don't know how much you're into Navy Blue, but that nigga might be the best rapper alive, bro. Might be the best rapper ever.
Yeah, not facts.
That nigga's
Yeah,
crazy. That nigga's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
That
Navy
nigga
Blue is like my favorite from that scene,
oh my
for
gosh,
sure.
that nigga is crazy. I got a chance to interview that nigga. I was like, yo, this is gonna be an important guy. You said what?
I gotta watch that.
Watch it, bro. I'm talking about like he is definitely one of the most like intriguing people I've ever got to speak to or whatever. And man, I would love to hear something between you two, man. I might have to middleman that one, man, because y'all niggas is.
Yeah, me too.
I might have to bring y'all two together, man, because y'all got some interesting stuff, and I would love to speak about like a couple of like some specific songs by you if you don't mind to like give some backstories or whatnot. I want to start with Bittersweet Cry because the thing that jumped off was that you have a feature on here with somebody that I've been following for years, and I just never put two in. I was like, I didn't even know this nigga rapped because I just never put two together. But Junior Flores.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've been following nigga for a long time. So if you could break down that relationship, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, me and Junior, that's crazy. Me and Junior met in this. So it was like 2017, on the Brockhampton subreddit. And there's this post that's like, yo, this was like happening a lot back then. It was this post is like, yo, we're starting an internet collective. Join this Discord. So we joined the Discord. We call it Space Cowboys on Tape. It lasted like 2 or 3 months. We never put out anything. But like the people that I've met from there are like really cool and they're really talented musicians that I've been able to keep in touch with. So that's like super dope. But yeah, that's how I met Junior. From this like internet collective in like 2017.
That's great. I probably thought y'all like went to school together or something. So y'all don't even live in like the same city or anything.
Nah, he's out Portland.
Portland. Nah, yeah, that was like the first thing that jumped out. I was like, he know this nigga? I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. So that was like, let me listen to this for sure. And yeah, man, just the like hearing Uno and then hearing the stuff on Niagara is like completely different stuff. And I feel like that's so cool because not a lot of young niggas could do that, bro. A lot of young niggas, they just gonna hear a New York drill beat and just smoke. I get the dope. You know what I'm saying? I put the nigga in the dope. You know what I'm saying? But you have the like versatility to make a song like a Uno and then make a song like anything on Niagara or whatever. And I think that's really cool. I don't know why it just escaped my mind for Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like a song with like you rapping over that's cool to me. So yeah. I just want to speak on Uno and like was that the first song you made or did that come like when you were making that album, like did that just come randomly or like what was the inspiration behind that?
So that one came that wasn't the first one. I made that one come on, December. So I made that was one of the first ones. Yeah. I made that like that summer of 2019. And it was first just like a beat. And then I got my cousins to like sing on it, and I was like, okay, this just has like this really like cool like Aretha like vibe or whatever. I was like, I want to like really sound like I'm pouring my soul out on this. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. And I actually almost scrapped it, like, and I was like, some in me just told me to keep it on there, and just the way it came in to make it the first one. And then before like any of the Niagara stuff and the soul food stuff and any of that, that was my biggest song. And it was interesting because like I definitely like pointed to a few other ones on there that I thought were gonna like go up and didn't as much as that one. So I was like, that was really interesting to me, and that was kind of more inspiration for me to be like, okay, maybe I don't really have to take like, all right, this is gonna pop off into consideration. I can just rap, you know what I mean, and like things are gonna fuck with that more.
Well, I was gonna say that's what soul food kind of sounds like. Soul food sounds like you just being like, hey man, I'm finna show niggas I can like out rap these niggas. I don't know if that was the intent of that song, but that's what it felt like because I feel like you were rapping at a pretty decent level on that. Like you were like you're going in. So was that the intent of that song, or did you have like a different purpose for that?
Yeah, I mean, soul food. It wasn't necessarily like I was just trying to be. I'm gonna go crazy on this one. It was like, I don't know. I was like, I never really, talking about that sound earlier of like the old soul samples and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna explore this more with a little bit more like intention, and I'm gonna see just what it does. And I was like, I had this idea of I had the idea of the song and the video at the same time when I heard the beat. So who's somebody my close friend now, Tom from Mars, this Australian like 17-year-old kid, this crazy producer, um, sent me the beat in my email, and I was like, oh yeah, this is crazy. I gotta do something with this. So I saw that idea for the video in my head, and I heard the song in my head. I was like, okay, if I put this out on like Twitter or something, and like really try to push it in front of like that kind of like navy blue mobby scene or whatever, like this could probably do something. So I did that, and that's kind of how I started like popping off, I guess.
Which is interesting because I've heard you explore, like, I feel like I could hear, like, influences in your music, like the slums and the Earls and, like, a little bit of Tyler and stuff like that. But it was interesting because behind you, I think that's a Jamaican flag right there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
it is.
are, I'm guessing, that's what you're talking about. Like, your parents are immigrants. They're Jamaican?
My mom is actually Canadian, but she's first generation Canadian. So my whole mom's side of my family is Jamaican. My dad is he was born in St. Kitts. He grew up in St. Thomas, and then moved to America. So both Caribbean. But
Were there any, like, was that any, like, dance hall music being played when you was growing up?
nah,
No,
that
really?
was none of that shit. That's crazy. I just thought about
Really? What were they listening to
that.
when you
None of
growing
that
up?
shit. Nah. What are they listening to?
Yeah,
Gospel. Like,
gospel.
yeah.
Interesting. So, like, were you a gospel fan growing up? Or you like, this is annoying.
I had appreciation for it song by song, but I didn't realize like what was making me appreciate it until I learned more about music, and I realized that it was like the chords they were using in these songs and stuff like that that was making me appreciate it. But I don't know. It was never really like an intentional thing to be like, oh yeah, I really like this genre. It was just like some of the songs that they would play would really invoke, emotion in me. So yeah, it was like this is cool. But
Is that something that you plan to do, or not plan to do? Is that something that you like consciously want to do? Is to evoke emotion? Because I feel like something like
yeah,
gospel music, soul music, R&B music, those are like some of the purest form of like music because they're like using instruments, they're using good vocalists, and they're trying to evoke emotion. So you not having a singing, or you not having singing, you not having. I don't know if you use live instruments. Yes, no.
not really. I
So,
mean, I play guitar on like beats sometimes.
but for the most part, there's not like drums and so
Nah,
no live instruments, no singing from you, and yeah, like so not having that as a disadvantage. Do you still try to make like emotion evoking music, or is that something that just may unconsciously happen?
um, yeah. I mean, I try to evoke emotion in the ways that I can. That's why I mess up with samples so heavy right now because like I don't have the live instruments,
Mm.
so I feel like they can kind of tell the story better than I can. With a song like Campbell, for example, um, like every time, like it starts off so fast. It's the same thing I did with Uno. I started off in the first 3 seconds, just because I want to evoke that emotion immediately of just like, man, it's hard to even put into words, but like just I guess euphoria, for lack of a better word. I mean, so even before I had put that song out, I would just listen to it like any. Okay, man, I'm sorry, I trail off a lot.
No,
But
you
I'm
good.
not
You
thinking
you
about
you
a lot of
Gucci.
shit. Um, so when I first got that beat, my boy Shiram sent it to me. He's a crazy producer. He did like 3 of the beats on Niagara. And when he first sent me that beat and the beat for Bad News, I was like, that those beats evoke that emotion in me. So I was like, okay, now it's time for me to extend that with how I rap on the actual song. Um, and like I hadn't done a lot of singing stuff before, but I was like on Campbell, it didn't feel right to do anything that wasn't melodic. You know what I mean? So that's why I started off like pretty melodic, and then it's always like usually how I do it halfway through the song. It's like, all right, time for me to rap on these things now.
Hey, and you did your thing, man. Like I said, Campbell is definitely one of my favorites. Because like I said, it's straight off the meat with the sample. It's just like no chance to breathe. Almost like how niggas be like, the baby just start rapping as soon as the beat come on. It's like you the baby with the sample, and it just came in and like you said, I feel like it evokes the emotion of just like I don't know, for me at least, it's like older times or something. It's like better times, like reminiscing on better times and the way that you're rapping, I feel like you're flowing. You match that perfectly. Like you're not overbearing it, or you're not like under it to the point where it's like, okay, this should have just been an instrumental. It's like you complement the beat, and the beat complements you perfectly. So yeah, I think that's cool. The fact that you didn't even produce that and somebody else produced it and it worked so well, that was fire. Are you usually like anti letting niggas produce for you? Because I know you produce a lot of your stuff.
Tight, bro. Because I feel like niggas beats don't be resonating with me, like a lot of times. And now I'm being more open to it, and I'm like listening to more stuff. That resonates with me, so that's cool. But a lot of times, yeah, like I've never. First of all, it's because I started producing before I started rapping, so that was always like, okay, I have this control here to where I can, if I have this sound in my head, then I can try to get it out
Yeah.
in a beat. So yeah, it was that, but it was just like I got used to that control to the point where I wouldn't really mess with any beat that anybody else would do, because like, okay, I would change this and I would do that. So it's like, if it's not like perfect, like it's like I don't want to use it. And even the sample beats that they sent me, I always changed some part of it, whether it was like the structure of like the actual sample or the speed. Like I changed the speed on all of them, um, you know. But it's cool. Like his, that's why I love the songs that I have with him with Sharon so much, because like man, everything he sent me just resonated with me. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I've never had this chemistry with a producer before. Like it was fine. But,
Hey, I might strike out, but I definitely got some niggas in mind that I think that'll definitely give you like some beats that you would enjoy.
yeah.
So I'm gonna send it after this, but cause I feel like the beats that you pick are very I don't know. I feel like you want to set a mood with the instrumental, and I feel like if it's not that, then you're probably like, this isn't what I'm going for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like very specific. Like, are you like that in life? Like just very uh picky or just specific on what you want? Is that like kind of how you like operate?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. Everything is like really has to be really specific. I'm kind of like a perfectionist when it comes to the stuff that I really enjoy, really care about. So like, if I'm not specific about it, I probably don't care. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that I do care about, I'm really specific about.
I feel like you even like that with your features. Like Junie, first time hearing about Junie, hey, she went crazy. I mean, that was one of my favorite features of the year. Yeah, like she was going crazy. I don't know if you met her on Reddit or if you know her real life, but I definitely want to hear more about that song.
Junie, okay, so I met Junie. I think I heard of Junie like this year, probably like off of Twitter,
Yeah.
like off of like the Shrek page or something. But yeah, Junie is crazy. Junie is crazy, and I listened to her music and I was like, yo, why are more people not talking about her? Like this is insane. I have to get a song with Junie. So making an album and making that beat and stuff, and I started rapping. I was like, yo, I definitely hear her voice on this song. So I sent it to her. And when literally I was freaking out when I got that verse, I was like, "Yo, this is like the hardest shit I've ever heard in my life." Like, I was freaking out. So I mean, yeah, she's a great fit for those types of instrumentals for sure. And I encourage everybody else to go check her out, man, because she's fine.
No, that was my only thing I heard from her. But after I heard that, I was like, bro, nigga, I need to go check her out some more. I still haven't, but after this interview, I need to check in with some Junior. Like, do you have like a favorite song or like somewhere to point in direction to where you what made you realize she was like hard?
You know what I just remembered? No, yeah, okay. So I just remembered that I first DM Junie like early last year,
Mm.
because you know how it needs to be on Twitter responding to stuff with like snippets of their song.
Yeah.
So I heard that and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I think I DM'd her and I was like, yo, are you ever gonna drop this? And she didn't respond and stuff. And then I tried again, so I had a little bit more of a following. And then she was like, yo, I fuck with you. I'm gonna get on this song, or whatever. But yeah, you asked me what the song was.
And now you good. You good. You good. You
Kendrick's
good.
Theory. Kendrick's Theory. That's my favorite.
What is it called?
Kendrick's Theory.
Kendrick's Theory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out just as soon as we hang up because I feel like with her and like I said, just the features on here. We've all heard albums where you hear features. You're like, all right, that nigga could have been left off. Like, let me get the featureless version of that song. I feel like with you so far, the features have to be like up to par, and they seem to be that way. Have you ever had a feature sent to you where you had to be like, I'm gonna have to pass on this?
Nah, not really. Like that's yeah. Like I'm pretty specific with who I do features with. I feel like I'm way more open to features now than I used to be. But I definitely I'm not just gonna make like a song with somebody for the sake of making a song with somebody. I have to hear them on the song. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been pretty particular about it, which has kind of saved me from having to like cut niggas off of songs and stuff.
But you wouldn't mind doing that though.
No, if I had to, yeah, I'd be like, yo, like this, I'm not gonna work it. But I haven't had to do that.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time telling no to niggas sometimes. I'll feel bad as hell. Be like, oh man, this ain't it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe just not drop the whole song. Like I don't know. But,
And it's interesting because, like I said, I found out about you through the Tyler thing, and I'm curious, like since the Tyler thing, like what was? Oh no, I'm late to this now. I feel like you. I'm forgetting stuff. I found out you with the Tyler thing, but I know you had like the little Fantano shit happen. Super late to that as well. Between the two, which one do you think you got like more of like follows, more like listens from, like the Fantano debacle or like the Tyler shoutout?
that was like
Really?
That was like literally the craziest night of my like music career.
Really? I thought Tyler would
like,
do that.
The Tyler thing was cool, but it was like the only people that really noticed it were people that already knew who I was. I mean, so it was like if you didn't know who I was and you just saw it, you know what I'm saying, nigga listening to a song, then it's just you keep going on with your day. But the Fantano thing was like a story, it was like trending on Twitter shit, and it was crazy because it was like every minute it was like somebody new that I looked up to was DMing me like, yo, you go hard, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't care what these niggas say. I'm like, yo, what the hell, like this is crazy, like, but yeah.
That's crazy. So you got way more followers off of that, and that happened when again?
Like, and the artist.
Oh, so that was last year. I thought that was this year.
No, it was this year.
I'm tripping.
It was like 4 or 5 days after the album came out.
So that happened. Was that before or after Tyler thing?
Before.
Before the Tyler thing, and then the Tyler thing happened. Interesting.
The Tyler thing happened like 2 weeks ago.
How was that? Bro, am I tripping or are you tripping right now? 2 weeks ago? I feel like that happened like 2 months ago.
Maybe a month ago. It was probably
okay. But yeah, that's crazy. And like after, I mean, like, so while that's going on, people probably like seeing like, yo, this happened with Fantano. Is that like a thing where you're thinking most bad things are gonna happen, or are you knowing like niggas finna have your back? Like, yo, bro, like we fuck with you.
It was like
what did you expect?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't expect that. I guess it was like for me, it was like, all right, I have this little following. Time to I guess see how much these niggas really mess with me. You know what I mean? So on the stream, it was like, okay, so, you know what I'm saying? People are going to have whatever opinions they have. I don't mind that. Yeah. But, I feel like when especially people in that position, when they have that level of influence, and it's like, bro, I've seen so many people that, like, people genuinely enjoy, and then, like, he says, oh, no, I don't like him. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, he sucks totally. Like, yeah. And I was like, a part of me was scared that was going to happen to me because it was like, okay, all this momentum and then like all these people that can't think for themselves just being like, oh yeah, never mind, fuck this nigga. But it was crazy because it kind of worked. It really worked in my favor when he started like tweeting a bunch of stuff about like, yo, I can cry to your mom, and I was like, all right, I don't got to do anything anymore. I already won. You know what I mean? Like it was like that worked so well for me because it was like there's nothing I could do to look like the weird nigga in this situation.
That's crazy because not with music like reviewers, but with interviewers, I have that same problem with niggas when like I be watching an interview and like an interviewer would be like, yo, like this guy's like the greatest rapper of all time, love this guy. Then the person interviewing would be like, really? That nigga trash. And then they'd be like, yeah, you're right, I'm tripping, like that guy's really trash. Like, my nigga, you was sucking this nigga up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's crazy. I remember I was watching some interview that happened. I was like, bro, I don't get that. So Shout out to you for niggas not switching on you. Did you ever get to like talk to Fantano after that, or you never talked to him?
Nah,
Never talked to him.
niggas tweeted out like a public apology.
I seen that. I seen that.
Yeah, that was it.
That was great. Like I said, I'm super late, so I seen that on. I think it was a video. Somebody made a video about it, and it was like covering it and whatnot. And I was like, oh, interesting. I had no idea that happened because I'm out of the Twitter loop. But hey man, I'm glad it didn't turn bad for you. You know what I'm saying? That would have been trash. So I'm glad niggas rock with your music because I feel like you are somebody in the next few years as you develop as a human and as an artist. I feel like more people will resonate with you. You'll get more listens. You'll get more followers, and I'm just happy to say I could chop it up with you, man. So I don't want to keep it for too long. So if you got any other things you want to say, let me know.
Um, man, not much. I got this one joint at the end of the year. It's about to like probably blow up again. So I'm
Really,
excited. But yeah, that's it.
not saying too much. Is it like a feature on there? Or is it just a song by
No,
yourself?
it's a song. It's a song.
I'm saying, is it a feature on the song or is it just you?
Oh,
So he's just that hard. It's just gonna blow up just off the strength of it being that
yeah,
hard.
facts. Like,
That's crazy. I don't think I ever heard that before. Usually, be like, I got this hit, man. I got this nigga on it. But I'm just by myself. You just rocking Dolo and it's finna be that. All right, man.
yeah, facts. Cause that's the stuff. It's crazy. Like, that's what's had the best reaction from like the hip hop world. Is just stuff from me. You know what I mean? So it's that that's allowed me to become more confident in my ability and shit. You know what I mean? Cause like my biggest songs have always been solo songs.
Yeah. That's interesting, right? Because usually a lot of niggas need like the cosign, like you know what I'm saying. They need this nigga on it, so that's interesting. So do you want to keep it that way, like just you by yourself solo? You don't want to like, kind of like ride nigga coattails, I guess, as you would put it.
Yeah, like the people that I want to make music with is because I think they would add actual musical
Yeah.
value to it, not because like oh, a lot of niggas gonna click on a nigga name or something.
Okay, man, I appreciate you stopping through. And last question before I let you go. I usually hate this question, like, "Hey, what are you listening to right now?" But I'm asking that. I'm asking that because I see that you follow Babytron, which I thought was just really
Yeah.
random. I was like, this nigga up on Babytron. So I'm curious, like, you listen to niggas like Babytron. Who else are you listening to right now that niggas wouldn't expect? Like, not like the Earls and shit like that, of course. Like niggas like Babytron. Like, who else you listen to?
So shit, like I guess like people would expect for me to listen to like D&B music because I'm from the DMV, but it sounds drastically different from like the shit that I actually make. You know what I mean? Like who song did I just fuck with? This kid Paco from like my city. He's hard as shit. Gunu, freaking like TD Ramo. I'm getting into TD Ramo. Also from here. And yeah, like actually, bro, last year when like TJX6 started popping off, that I got hit to like the whole Detroit scene and I started fucking with Shitty Boy. I like Shitty Boy way more than like anybody else in that scene, bro. It's so hard, bro.
Bro, that nigga Babytron is different, bro. They rapping
Yeah.
on them disco beats and shit, bro. Them niggas be going crazy, bro. Nigga, my mind would explode if I hear a Redveil Gunu song. If that ever happened, bro, I don't know what that would sound like.
I don't know. I would produce one, man.
That'd be
I
hard.
would try to produce one. That would be crazy.
He rapped over the Moesha sound. I mean the Moesha beat one time. And I can imagine you giving him some like soulful shit. That'd be crazy. So, hey man, I'm interested in that. For everybody watching right now, I appreciate you guys. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play, and you guys holla at your boy.